We have Rita in the house. Give her a hand. Welcome to the 10K club. Can I get a hell yes? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm super excited for you. So just some quick questions. What do you think the biggest problem was before you started working with us?
I think before I came on board with you guys, I've been scattered. My focus was everywhere. So I've spent a lot of money, but I just keep going for the next thing. I was not grounded. But when I came in, it was overwhelming initially. I'm still running, but I just decided to stick with you guys, mainly because you are local, you are UK based. The others I worked with, they were in Australia, America. So I just felt locally it resonates more when you are communicating with local time. You don't have to wake up. Yeah. So I had no choice.
Nice. I like that. So look, when you said you were, like, because that's very normal. A lot of people in the entrepreneurial space are trying to do too many things. And I think in today's world, social media, pumps loads of different ideas. And people, have this concept about doing like hundreds of different things at the same time and hoping that one of them is going to be successful. How was it emotionally for you to be in that space where you were massively overwhelmed?
You are drained, and because we are creatures of habits, you just think you are doing normal until
Mm.
the bills comes in, and your outflow it's more than your inflow. So that's when the bell rings, and you just need to take account. Yeah.
Because I mean, look, Rita, these are early days still, but and as you start seeing this really happen for you, you're going to get really focused on drilling down on this main thing, because when you put all your attention into it, it's going to grow so much quicker, even quicker than you already expected. So out of the things that you've used so far, and as I said, I know it's early days, we're going to go into the automation and stuff, but out of like whether it's the live support, whether it's the private forum, whether it's the methodology in of itself, the closer process, the ads, the funnels, the templates, which are all done for you, which has been the most valuable for you so far?
And the interactive class, because you are talking with live people. Those videos are good, but it's just you by yourself. There's no accountability. But in the live class, you deal with real people. You guys communicate. You have that family bond, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have gone through a course today without the right support. And without the right support, it's going to be very difficult. So that's why we really compound so that you have people there every step of the way. Were there any like hesitation? What was the block about purchasing, or how was that purchase decision for you? Were you worried about the investment? Were you worried about whether it was going to actually work for you or not?
You are always worried when you want to take the next step, especially when you've spent a lot of money and the lot is not coming in. So yeah, I was always worried, but my where I drew the line was, Rita, you've spent so much with people who are not local and there was no result. So you really have no choice other than to go with someone at least he's credible. And if he doesn't pay up, you can always make some noise. And yes.
I like that. There's nothing wrong with making noise. Like, at the end of the day, I think unfortunately, people do have to invest in that skill set. And sometimes, people are early on that journey, they've invested into things. And, there's kind of three sorts of categories that people fall into. They've invested into something that didn't work, right? As in, number one, they were being taught lots of different, social media things. That's very common. Right. And so in today's world, if you're trying to learn hundreds of different social media channels, it's going to be very overwhelming. And that is not what I recommend. And that's why we don't do that. We focus on one process, one platform to get that working, get sales in, and then scale off of that. The second reason that people fail because they've invested into something is because they don't have live support, or they don't have one-to-one support, or they don't have a full team helping them do that. And so you may invest, and people do, in some of these really, really big brands out there, but have zero support. And without support, especially in the earlier stages of your entrepreneurial journey, is very difficult, because you've got a lot going on, and you have to understand where most people start. They start with very little time available to be able to apply to the learning process. And so therefore they need a lot of support and condition to do it. And so the byproduct is if they complete it, they get the time. And then the third reason, if people have invested into programs and haven't got a result, is that they didn't show up or they didn't do it. And they tend to be a run of them. And so that's why, like we do, make sure that from the beginning, there's a personalized process in place so that someone is being held through the process. What do you think? How does your belief? What do you believe about yourself that's different from where you were before to where you are? Consistently putting in 10K months. I know you've done more than that, 12.8. But what do you believe about yourself or your business or the process now that's different because of this?
Before I came on board, I was, like I told you, I was scattered. But I think I really started getting close, consistent results when I just disregard every other option and locked in with you guys and put to practice what was taught and what I learned. So that was when, because focus expands, what you focus on expands. So when I started focusing and consistently attending the classes, there were times in the early stage when sometimes I just don't want to come. Maybe I was still hiding, but it was a muscle. So I just built it and I had no other choice because I've exempted myself from every other programs and just locked in.
I like that. Okay, so what would you, because you are right though, because sometimes you have to hit this pain point in life where you go, look, enough is enough, and I've got to make this work. And without the real pain, to drive, sometimes people go, I put a lot of time in, I've spent this, and I still haven't got result. And then they're complaining when I'm like, that's fine and all, like in today's world, to start an online business, it doesn't take a lot of an investment compared to a traditional business. You can put 250,000 into a retail shop and get nothing back for 5 years. You don't have that issue in an online business. But like people have got to use that pain and drive that into real consistent action. So look, I really appreciate that you've done that. And it's been a privilege to be part of your journey because it doesn't work without amazing people like yourself. That being said, what would you say to someone that was on the edge of joining, that, was possibly hesitant? What would you say to them about joining COA?
It starts with them. They have to make a definite decision to want to join, and they must have tried other system that doesn't work, because you can't really combine this your system with other system. It's still going to be flip-flop. So they have to make the choice to want to join and disregard every option and lock it in like I did, and they will definitely get results.
Like that, because you'll still be flip-flop.
Yeah.
I love that. All right.
Yeah.
Rita, thank you so much. Look, I do really appreciate you because it doesn't work unless people do commit, and you're someone that is coachable, you committed, put the work in, and it's been an amazing part of your journey. So look, that being said, welcome to the 10K Club. Let's get your next clear steps so that we can sort you out for your automation.